Hi, I'm Carol, a DC farmer. In Washington, D.C., like in most urban areas, farms don't sit on hundreds of acres of land. Instead, they're in small spaces that are in close proximity to residential and commercial areas. If you've already found a place to farm in D.C., you should conduct an assessment of the site. An assessment will allow you to better understand what resources are necessary to make the site more suitable for your farm operation. As part of the assessment, you should consider existing on-site features such as trees, water sources, sun-facing and shade-facing slopes, drainage lines, soil types, microclimates, and structures. You should also look around for existing off-site features that could support your farm. These could include delivery services, markets, restaurants, and transportation. After completing your assessment, think about the best ways to make use of what's available before investing in the build-out of your farm. Let's take a look at some helpful tips for assessing your farm area and designing your farm site.
I had a design already in my head about how to do it, you know what I'm saying, the layout. So I just laid the sketch after the tilling. I had to find a way to stop the pooling down at the bottom of the hill. So I was like, we're gonna do raised burn beds. And that's like these mounds here, they actually stop the water, and by stopping the water, they absorb it. So by them absorbing it, the root system of the plant is always getting water. And so it helps me not to come out here every day and water.
They needed an irrigation system, more so than just a rain catchment, because that's pretty simple to catch water. But to automate and then as well as irrigate the farms, because again, we got a small crew. We don't have people here every day.
Now with that, this is the rain catchment system, so it's going to feed a drip irrigation to each row. But the drip irrigation is not going to be on top like most. It's going to be inside of the bed. So it's just pushing all the water straight to the root system. And a big reason why I figured to go in the rows inside of it was because in the summertime you deal with evaporation. So you have to either water early in the morning or at dusk at night. So if you have a system where the water is just straight going into the mounds, into the root system, you don't have to worry about the evaporation so much.
Because it's like a hill, it'll allow the water to drain down and it won't make it just sit there. And our crops will marinate kind of in the water as opposed to just getting wet, and then the sun gets on it and it dries it out.
So what we did was when we sat down and looked at it, I got a bird's eye view from Google, and that allowed us to say where we wanted to send the water, where we want to place it, because this is one of the highest points on the farm, so that we can use that gravity. What we also did here Because of the small footprint that I had, I extended the roof so that I can get multiple gutter systems up there. So in essence, on one roof in the same footprint, I've got 4 areas to capture water. When this is full, then that will send it over there as well for the substation. So that backs up this right here. So it's never a loss or a waste at all.
And one of my things I tell young people, man, always follow your dreams. Dreams plus action equals results. Because this was all just a dream at one point. Like, this was just a thought. And I put the action behind it, and this what it equals. You know what I'm saying? A space where people can come learn, and people can get inspired. Like, one of the things we have is we have a lot of volunteer days out here. You know what I'm saying? Some people for the first time, you know what I'm saying, coming out here to volunteer, and they have a great experience. And they end up leaving with plants. Like, hey, we ready to go start our own thing. We ready to go start composting. You know what I'm saying? So that's part of my fulfillment with that. Like, okay, I done touched somebody. I don't care if it's one person. You know, you get one, you can get another one.
Over here, she's got some lettuce, and it's growing very, very nicely. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. Just imagine that in a great salad. And underneath here she keeps some seedlings that she's growing, and she has great plans to also put in some plants underneath the system to grow something from the ground. Turning to this side, let me just show you what I see here. Also over here we've got kale, and I'm gonna move closer so that you can meet the lady herself. This is Queen Belinda.
Hey, hey, hey.
Tell us more about your farm. What inspired you to do this, and what can your clients look forward to?
What made me to start this is to feed the nation. I'm a survivor, and I saw how people helped me to survive, to stand on my feet. And I felt it's also good for me to grow food to help those who can't be able to buy vegetables, because junk food we get it anywhere.
Definitely.
But then vegetables people don't even think. So I said, let me just go and grow and feed the nation. Yeah.
And they're also good for our health.
Yeah,
They really are.
Yeah.
So what products are you nurturing here? What can your customer look forward to buying when they come here?
I have lettuce,
Mm-hmm.
a variety of lettuce. I have kale. I have mint. We have celery. We have exotic plants from outside South Africa. We have chili. We have rosemary. We have different types of spinach, rainbow spinach, the
lovely.
charge. We have the baby spinach. So yeah, basil. We have radish. We have spring onion.
No, but you've got a lot going.
Yes.
You really do. And I'm so excited for the future of your farm. You are definitely a woman in motion, a mover, a shaker, a go-getter.
High up on the rooftop of the Fairmont Hotel in the heart of Washington, 2 area chefs are tending to honeybees.
Like, all these bees are out gathering nectar, and now they're coming in and they want to get back in the hive.
Executive sous chef Ian Benz and executive pastry chef Aaron Weber wanted to have access to fresh local honey to use in their daily menus for the hotel's restaurant. So, 2.5 years ago, they installed 3 beehives on the roof and have been harvesting the liquid gold ever since. They estimate about 60,000 to 90,000 honeybees take up residence in each hive at the height of nectar flow, which is from May through late July. Each hive is made up of a number of wooden boxes, which are stacked one on top of the other.
Each one of these is units are called a super. So we've got deep supers, medium supers, and we have actually a smaller one called a shallow super.
Each super contains 10 rectangular frames in which the bees build a wax honeycomb. They use the structure to house the queen's eggs and to store honey and pollen to eat. As each comb is filled with honey, the bees seal it with wax and continue to move higher up the hive, filling new frames of honeycomb. Ben says he got into beekeeping for a number of reasons.
It's great for the environment. It's a chance for us to get back to nature a little bit. We both love the process of where our food comes from. It's getting back to basics. Like, honey is just one of the most basic ingredients that we started as humans cooking with. So each of these will hold a couple pounds of honey, like each frame. You can feel it's very, very heavy.
Every month or so, during the warm weather, Benz and Weber remove the frames that have been filled and capped to harvest the honey.
Okay.
After the harvest, the chefs bring the box of honey-filled combs to their kitchen for extraction. The thin layer of wax that cap the honey is removed and later used to create natural skin products like lip balm, sunscreen, and facial scrubs that the hotel provides as amenities to its VIP guests. Weber takes the prepared frames and places them, 2 at a time, into the extracting machine. This method helps the comb stay intact within the frame so it can be reused by the bees. This afternoon's extraction has yielded about 22 kilos of fresh honey, which the Fairmont chefs will start incorporating into their menu. Today, they are pairing it with local artisanal cheeses for a savory cheese platter and incorporating it into praline ice cream as a dessert offering.
Excellent. Isn't it? It's really good.
They also use their harvests in the hotel's signature Beatini, a unique concoction made with vanilla vodka and fresh lemon juice.
Hi, how are you? Try some of our Rooftop Honey?
Since Benz and Weber started their urban beekeeping project, other hotels across the U.S. and around the world have been inspired to turn to beekeeping as a healthy and environmentally sustainable alternative for fresh, local honey. So far this season, which started in May, Ian Benz and Aaron Weber have collected about 45 kilos of honey for their culinary specialties and expect their harvest to keep growing in the coming years.
Those were great tips on assessing and designing the layout of your farm. Remember to consult with the local permitting office if you are thinking about adding structures or if you have questions on zones of use. If you don't own the land you are farming, make sure your farm design and build-out plans are consistent with the terms of the lease. Now let's take a quick look at a few resources you may want to include on your farm.
The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service can provide urban farms with both technical and financial assistance to make critical on-farm conservation improvements. Urban settings can produce large amounts of waste. These can leach into the surrounding soil, presenting unique challenges, so urban farmers often test their soils for contaminants like heavy metals before they get started. NRCS can provide farmers with technical information on soil mitigation strategies tailored to a farm's specific needs to ensure food is grown in a safe environment. NRCS can also provide both technical and financial assistance for installing high tunnels, allowing farmers to extend their growing seasons, shelter crops from weather extremes, manage pests, and help protect against drift from pesticides and pollen. And NRCS can develop irrigation water management plans that help urban farmers with wells, or conservation practices like rainwater catchment and automated water-efficient drip irrigation systems to help reduce their water use. Other USDA agencies also have assistance for urban farmers. Check out USDA's Urban Agricultural Toolkit for more helpful resources for urban farmers.